Welcome to the Launch to Six podcast, a podcast about how you can launch your online business from 0 to 6 figures in 24 months or less, regardless of your prior experience. Now, here's your hosts.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Launch to Six podcast. I'm Tomasz Zlazewski. I'm here with my good friend and business partner, Tom. And today we're answering the question why knowing yourself is really crucial to success in business. And it's a really strange topic because a lot of people it's one of the big mistakes that we see people doing when they're starting businesses. Tom, how have you seen this with people? Give us some examples.
Huge. Yeah, no, I think it's massive. Hey guys, by the way, I would say it's the biggest thing. It's that the mindset behind the success. I think that's the most important thing. That's something I've been teaching my clients to start up in the real estate industry for years now. And the most successful people that I've found that succeed, they do know themselves. They know what they're good at. They know what they're not very good at, and they let go of what they're not very good at and delegate it. And I think there's so many ways now you can delegate, like a website like Upwork, where you can get people in Eastern Europe or Philippines for $4 an hour. So there's no excuses now, but I think people don't know what they want, I believe. I think that's a big thing. So when I started, I'll just share a little bit about my story. When I started, I was just living with my parents. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. There was no money around. So the first thing I got clear on was I wanted more money. So I realized it wasn't bad to have more money. If I had more money, I could help more people. I could help myself, because they say as a plane's going down, you got to put your gas mask on before you put it on the child, because you're no help to the child if you're not well yourself. So I got clear on that. And then I set myself a goal. My goal was to make $3,000 a month, because that would be enough for me to do what I wanted to do. For some people, it might be $5,000 a month. It doesn't matter. I mean, you got to figure that out. But I figured that out, Thomas. So I basically figured out what my financial independent goal was at that time. My lifestyle obviously changed, but at that time. And then I realized what I was good at. I realized I was a good communicator. I would get the job done. I wouldn't quit. And I was good at sales. So I realized I could dive into that. And I was good at marketing as well. And I started to learn that. But though, to back up, I had to acquire them skills. I didn't think I was good at them things. See, here's the tricky thing here. Some people don't think they're good at something, but until they try, they don't know. So I quickly realized I'm not a spreadsheet guy. I don't want to do tech and analytics and stuff like that and code. I don't want to do any of that. I wanted to create a product, help people, attract people into my industry. And that was it. So to cut a long story short, I did know myself. I knew what I wasn't good at and what I hated, because we talked about this a lot, because obviously we're close friends as well. If people are listening to this, me and Thomas, we're business partners, but close friends as well. And we talk about this a lot in business, and also just at a business. It's important to not create another job for yourself, right, Thomas? A lot of people do that. Why do you think they do that? Why do you think people end up hating what they do, and they might be making the same amount of money or more, but they just don't enjoy what they do? What do you think that is about?
I think there's a mix of things to that. It's a really good point, because people, when they generally leave their job, they have a great skill. They're a great technician. They're very good at doing something. They're very good at making something. But they kind of, it's like, I'm really passionate about shoes, and I work in a shoe shop and I make beautiful shoes, so I'm going to go start a shoemaking business. And what very quickly happens, if you look at it even down to a granular detail, and you can see this from project to project. So, okay, you leave, you start your business, and you get your first client, and they give you a set of shoes to make. You go and make your first set of shoes. And whilst you're making your first set of shoes, you're not out looking for your next client. So suddenly you've got your first set of shoes, you've finished it, you've made your first bit of income. I've made my first bit of income. Oh, but I haven't got my next client. I haven't. And then you might go along, you've got this peak and trough, Maybe people, get a reputation, word of mouth. So it's not consistent. But then when you do actually hit a growth period, you'll hit that growth point if you work hard enough, of course, and the product's viable, etc. What will then happen is that you've only got the capacity, for example, to make one pair of shoes per week. but you're filled up for 6 months with people, and people are still coming to you going, I want this next pair of shoes. And you're still busy. You're the one making the shoes. And I mean, I use the shoemaker analogy, but you get my point.
Sure, that makes sense.
You're not focused around the skill sets of working on the business. You're working in the business as a technician, and that's really a very common mistake. And the thing is, and it's a lot harder to deal with later down the line. It's something that needs to be thought about and designed into your business and your process from the beginning. Because, like, I mean, we work with businesses who are old school businesses and trying to come online. And there is an element of that process in place when somebody does want to take their business online, because you've got these processes that you're trying to adapt and etc. And it's possible, but it is so much more difficult had they not been already, or had the mindset of, this business is going to go online, this business is going to work without me, and it's going to have a team within it, and this is the culture.
Yeah.
So sure. I think that's really crucial to understand. And again, comes back to knowing yourself. I love what you're saying about goal setting. You know, I mean, what would be for you with setting goals? I mean, have you got a structure that you follow for setting goals? I mean, how's that?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, yeah, it's just going off what you said there, Thomas. Absolutely. I think people need to not get caught in when they think business. Oh, I love coffee, so I'm going to be so passionate about coffee and people are going to walk through the door. No, you need to remember, if you're the artist in the business, you're so passionate about yoga, or you're so passionate about Excel spreadsheets, which is hard to believe for me, but there are people passionate about that. Or whatever you're passionate about.
Spreadsheet.
Exactly. Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you have interest in, there is someone that is making money. There is someone that is making more than a doctor makes, or more than a pilot that spent 6 figures to get that license, traveling the world, working from home, working from Starbucks if they want to on a random Tuesday afternoon because they can, because they've mastered that. But you have to master marketing. You have to know how to create structure, how to create a foundation, a funnel, and all these little skills. They don't take that long to understand, especially if you're listening to podcasts like this. And to accelerate that, getting a mentor that literally just tells you what to do every day and you follow it, and then you've built your business a lot quicker than doing it yourself with trial and error. You can get there quicker, but you have to understand, if you're just making shoes all day and you're not building the business to drive traffic, to bring leads in, and you don't know how organic marketing is, YouTube videos, Instagram, all that stuff that we go way deeper in another episode, it's going to be really challenging for you. Because most people think, and this is crazy, but most people think this, if I just put a website up, I'm going to be rich.
Yeah,
some people believe, if I just create a website, people are going to search for me. No, they won't. No. Any successful online business they love their product. They know who their customer is. But first, before you know who your customer is, you have to know who you are. Some people don't want to do one-on-one coaching. So for me, I went into to one-on-one coaching. I did it for 4-5 years in the real estate industry in the UK specifically. So you guys would recognize my name. Well, I got burned out because I realized I like to create I like to create and sell, but more online rather than in coaching. So I made a lot of money and I made, millions doing it. But the problem was I wasn't enjoying it because I started to not enjoy what I was doing. I emotionally got burned out. So now I found balance. But that's why you listening to this podcast, we can tell you before you have to go through that pain, And Thomas, you were going to say something actually just then.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say was that a lot of it also relies on the fact of understanding yourself when it comes to taking on business partners. Now, that's the big thing, because you can obviously probably tell the difference between myself and Tom. We've got Casper, our other business partner. Tom is very much vision, marketing, sales. Myself, I'm business structure, design. Yeah, I get involved with the marketing and tech. I sit very much in the middle of it, but it's not my main area. Casper is, full stack web development. He is very specific. He loves that. So the big thing, going back to the point about knowing yourself, it's so important, because the most common mistake, I've made this mistake myself, is when I go out and I said, right, okay, I'm going to start a business doing this, solving this problem, I need a business partner. And most people, when they start in business, they're probably quite nervous. They're a little bit afraid. And so generally they'll want a business partner for the sort of the comfort. And generally where people find comfort is in familiarity. Can't pronounce things properly. And what I mean by that, what will happen is, what do? You look for people who are familiar. So you will look people who are just like you, because you get on with people like you. So what will happen is you end up with two salesman marketers in the business who are out there sales and marketing and talking about the business, bringing in leads, but there's no operational structure behind the product. On the flip side, you might have two guys who are, really geeky. They love tech and they build a beautiful product, and they're like, oh, we build a product and it'll sell. And
they don't get any customers.
They don't know how to market and they don't know how to bring customers. So it's about that balance. So when you'll begin to understand yourself, there's a number of ways, if you look at it from a personality perspective, Myers-Briggs, DISC profile, all of these tools, they're hugely powerful. But then you start to look at, okay, so, what's the opposite of me? What does someone else bring to the table? The chalk and cheese, who's opposite to you, who's different? Now, okay, some people have overlap, but that's very much the big thing about understanding that.
Well, I think that's really well said. I think there's two ways of looking at that, because of course you can start a business up yourself, guys, as well. I did that personally, but I delegated my weaknesses or what I didn't enjoy. So instead of having just a pure business partner or partners, I delegated it. So like a business partner, guys, if you do that, which we recommend it, and you can actually go to our Facebook community group. If you just type in Launch2, so Launch TO6 community in Facebook, you'll be able to find our group where we discuss this, our Facebook group, members only group there. So you can just chat and go a little bit deeper in, get some of our time, and we do webinars and Zooms and stuff like that. But this is really important because you could find a business partner, but like what Thomas said there, if you don't know what your weaknesses and what your strengths are, it's going to be hard. So you could go into any industry and any topic. We're going to talk about that in the next episode in depth, about how you pick your niche and your industry to go into. But your service is different. So my friend Ollie, your friend as well, Thomas, he's in the Amazon industry. So he teaches people how to do private label shipping in China and how to sell them on Amazon and make a markup. Very simple business. And he loves it. He doesn't like doing big seminars. He doesn't like doing loads of crazy sales. He doesn't enjoy doing one-on-one coaching and group coaching. He prefers more creating a product, selling a product, and building his business, scaling a product, instead of giving loads of one-on-one coaching. Some people love one-on-one coaching and they love doing group coaching. They couldn't imagine, right? We have some people we know, Thomas, that in business owners, they want to coach all day long because they love it. Yeah. So it just depends. You have to know.
They just want to turn up and share their seeds of wisdom. That's literally what they want. Their pearls of wisdom they just want to share. And if you're in that position and you're qualified and you have that experience, that is a fantastic combination. If you can find somebody who can then build out all of that infrastructure and bring customers to you. So yeah, it's very much kind of understanding yourself, understanding your strengths, and then finding how to complement that, finding how to leverage that, whether that be a business partner or whether that be someone who you pay, you remunerate, depending on whatever that relationship is, whether percentage or on just an hour by hour basis, whatever suits.
For sure. And I just want to say, guys, for everyone listening to this podcast, what we want to do is we want to give you actionable steps, tools, books that have helped us. So I'm going to talk about some books that have helped me. I know Thomas is a big fan of a book here, Share the Lean Startup. But 4-Hour Workweek, I read that book. I remember I was working in GNC. So it's like, I think they actually went into administration recently and got bought out by a company for 700 million or 400 million. Pretty crazy times right now in the pandemic, but a lot of people making money online. Trust me, a lot of businesses going online now. So they've been bought out of administration, but they're going online because that's where everyone is. And for me, I wrote down on the 4-Hour Workweek how much money I wanted to make. And I also wrote down all the countries. And the funny story is I'll share this, but I wanted to buy a protein bar. So I wrote down, I borrowed £10 from the safe. I was assistant manager. I wrote it down. And obviously I put the money back the next day. It'd be funny if I didn't, and the police are going to come. but I gave them, put the money back. How funny was that? I looked back at that book 3 years later, and I'd gone to every country that I wrote down. Hawaii, I think I've traveled to like 5-star to 22, 23 countries in the last like 4 years alone. And it's crazy. But my goal was $3,000 a month. I wrote that book, but this is off a cuff story, but the actual book is incredible. It's a bit old now, but it introduces you to the concept of working less, using automation and making money online in this digital economy. And it's only growing. It's like the amount of people coming online is crazy. So the 4-Hour Workweek, I'm not going to break it down. You can buy the book or listen to the audio. I'm not affiliated with it. It's just amazing. It really will open you up. And that's helped me personally. It will open up your mind along with this podcast, which is tactical. It's great. I know, Thomas, you were massively into leading. Right?
Well, firstly, I second the 4-Hour Workweek. Do check it out. There's a couple of really good principles that I mentioned around the 80-20 principle, Pareto's law, how to do more with less, how to be more effective versus being more efficient. A great book, honestly. The other book,
I love the case studies in there as well, of all the way people have made money from the most obscure interests.
Absolutely awesome, honestly. And it talks, and we'll go into this in another podcast, really focusing about finding a niche, and more importantly, testing out ideas, testing things, testing and measuring, being scientific about things. Tom, you're a marketer, we love this stuff. So as Tom mentioned, a book which is really awesome, I do recommend, The Lean Startup. Do check that out. Very much talking about fail fast, get out there, test a concept, test your niche. The whole idea, I hate this. I mean, Mercedes have this as their they build the car and it sells itself. It's pardon my French, but it's rubbish. I won't swear. It is absolute rubbish, because there's so much going on with that brand, with that machine, to actually make that happen. So do check that book out. The Lean Startup's really, really good. Around personality testing, check out Disc Profile and check out Myers-Briggs. So really, I mean, I did it back in university, but it's so useful to understand how and where you sit, who you are. And then what that does is it means you can go out and find other people who are different. They bring different things. And in some cases, you might, this person, okay, you've got to gel with these people, of course, that you're going to work with. Like, me, Casper, Tom, we're good friends. But do we always agree about things? No. But that's what makes it great. That's what's really important, is that we have these different concepts that come together to solve a problem. And we have different skill sets and different strengths. But
and I think a tool for them to go to, that's what I said, mate. I think a tool for them to go to our group, which is Launch to Six Community. Go to that group, and it'll be in the show notes as well. We'll have the link there, but go to that group, because you can actually find business partners. You can collaborate with people. We encourage that, because it's a great way to build a business, to find people that have different skills than you, or they might have more capital for marketing. They might have less capital. So there's so many benefits, and we can help you and guide you. Look, you're not going to get this all overnight. That's why, we do these podcasts and we have programs, and that's why we do that. And that's what I had to learn. I had to watch hundreds of videos, have mentors, spend, thousands and tens of thousands investing in myself as I earned more income online, because you can always learn more. But I would say another thing I recommend you do is just on like maybe a Google document or a piece of paper. I'd start writing down on a piece of paper, sort of put a line down the middle and write down all of your strengths and what you think you're good at, your attributes, and then write down what you just maybe are not very good at, or you just dislike in general. So there's some people, they just don't want to close sales over the phone. It just doesn't interest them. That's fine. You can find closers on commission basis. There's loads of solutions to that. But write that down and write what you just dislike in general, because everyone says you have to do what you dislike. I just disagree, to be honest, because there's too much technology that can automate that and do it all for you. Or you can find amazing people that you can partner with, or you can delegate on a website like Upwork. So I'm going to give you a tool, upwork.com. Go on there. You can find people in the Philippines or India for $4 an hour. They can help you with setting up funnels. They can even help you with other things like Facebook ads. And they might not be that cheap to run Facebook ads, but pretty much anything that you would manually do, you can delegate to someone on Upwork. And we go on deeper and do an episode on that. And I'm excited to share this stuff, guys, because we've done this. I still do this. We're doing it now. And the difference of this podcast is we have an agency. We have a real estate company. We have our own, a portfolio, in crypto and property in the millions. So it's actually something we practice what we preach. But we're not someone that's just teaching you marketing and they make money from teaching you marketing. Do you know what I mean, Thomas? We've done it in different industries. In an agency, in property, in design, in software, in real estate education. So we've done it in many different industries, and that's a humble brag, if you like. But I think it's important to say, and if you do book a call with us, you'll probably see a link in the description. You can actually book a call with us, with me and Thomas, or both of us, or individually. We show people what we do, right, Thomas? We're like, look, here's what we do, and here's how we can help you replicate it in your own niche. And that's our next episode, right? So we're going to be diving deep into topics. So why do you think, just to give them a little teaser, if you like, why would you say picking the right niche, the right interest is so important before we go into the next one?
Yeah, it's a good question. So picking the right niche, I think, really pushes you into. I'm gonna reverse that. No, this is how I'm gonna say it. Picking the right niche will make sure that you remain interested and passionate in what you're doing. So many people would be like, "Oh, I want to make loads of money, so I think I'm gonna go into gold. Gold's lots of money."
Yes.
You're not gonna stick at something if you're not passionate about it. Yes, sure. Okay, I just feel that understanding yourself, understanding your passion, understanding what you like, what you're interested in. So, great example. I'm a good example of this. My first business was in architectural lighting. The reason I went into architectural lighting is because I'd studied it. I'd got beginnings of a qualification in it. I'd worked in it, and I thought, oh, I can do this. Do you know what? I got so bored. And I began to hate it. I began to really, really not like it because of the fact that it just didn't interest me that much. So, if it is, and I did that for a job for some time, it was I was making money out of doing that. And, just because you feel that you're knowing something in a certain industry with a certain skill set doesn't mean that you can't apply that skill set to something else, something that, say, you're more passionate about. And so, I think that probably, for me, sort of wraps that quite nicely up. I don't know, Tom, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I think you have to do something you're passionate about. Otherwise, someone else is going to be more passionate about it, and they're going to learn the marketing. They're going to be willing to learn the step-by-step structure. They're going to be willing to learn how to run a webinar or write a webinar or be able to sell on Zoom, and all these tools and tactics we're going to give you everything. They are going to be more willing than you. For example, it's like someone learning football, or, we call it, obviously, if you're in America, listen to soccer or whatever sport is, MMA, mixed martial arts. If someone's more passionate about it, they're going to put more hours into it. They're going to learn more, and they're going to just be better at the job. And people sense that nowadays. They sense authenticity. So go into something you're passionate about, or partner with someone, and you be the person that runs the operation, the marketing, the IT, the tech. Because you might not know anything about real estate, but you love data and you love analytics. So you run their Facebook ads, and you get a cut, a 20% cut or 30% cut of the company, or 50-50. Man, everything is possible, to rephrase that. Everything is possible in the internet economy. And if you know how you'll win. So make sure you book the call if you want a free strategy session with me and Thomas and Casper, or our, our agents that will be on the phone that are there to help you and serve you. No pressure selling. We do have programs, obviously, but it's all application only. And join the community, right, Thomas? Because we're in there. We're going to be sharing things. It's a new community we've just set up, but it's going to be growing, isn't it, with people all around the world, and it's going to be great value.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, it's exciting times.
Awesome. So in the next episode, it's all going to be about topics, what niche you pick, and we're going to be giving you some examples and some industries that have worked for us and our friends and partners and clients. So we'll see you in the next episode. Over and out, right?
Lovely. Take care, guys. See you later.